Are you an emerging business leader? How would you like a full-ride MBA scholarship? It's possible. The Ivy College of Business is offering a full scholarship for one standout student in the online MBA. This first Emerging Leader MBA Scholarship will be awarded to one qualified candidate who is ready to start classes in the fall of 2026. Apply by May 15th. The link is copied below. Reach your full potential with the Iowa State MBA.
The Business Records News Headlines podcast is brought to you by the Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University, where world-class faculty, staff, programs, and facilities come together to deliver business education for a rapidly changing world. At Ivy, students gain more than a degree, they gain real-world experience and the confidence to lead in any industry.
Welcome to the Business Record News Headlines podcast, presented by the Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University. This is your essential weekly briefing on local business news from across the state. I'm Stacey Thompson, BPC's Senior Director of Events, here with co-host Business Record Editor Sarah Diehn. We're starting off our Business Record Roundup, reviewing the top 3 stories reported by the Business Record Newsroom that you may have missed over the last week. Sarah?
Thanks, Stacey. This week, the Des Moines City Council voted Monday on matters related to 3 downtown developments. First, the council approved a proposal from Omaha-based White Lotus Group to redevelop the city's Argonne Armory, but the unanimous vote followed hesitation from one council member. Councilman Josh Mandelbaum said he has concerns about the firm after reading about challenges on other projects. Its proposal outlines a mixed-use plan for the building with residential units, a cafe and retail space, and an upscale bar. The city received one other proposal from Des Moines-based Thompson Real Estate in partnership with Hubble Realty Company. The council also approved a $7 million grant for the construction of the Pro Iowa Soccer Stadium, which Jeff Lorenzen, board president of the Iowa Soccer Development Foundation, said meets the project's funding goal and is the green light to start preparing for construction. Lastly, the city approved asking the Iowa Economic Development Authority to award $13 million in Iowa Reinvestment Act funding to the Market District to build a hotel and parking ramp. They also asked to expand the Capital City Reinvestment District to include the 50-acre district. The city's request will be reviewed by IEDA in early 2026.
Officials at the Des Moines Area Regional Transit Authority are beginning to prepare for changes to its system after the DART Commission approved its redesigned network last week. The first major change in bus routes and service in more than a decade, the redesigned network reduces fixed route service but increases the frequency of its routes, a move that leaders say will help increase access to jobs into the metro. The redesign also reduces service by 10% to limit property tax growth. The decision comes as Bondurant decided to withdraw from DART, citing too few riders from the community to make remaining in DART viable. DART CEO Amanda Wonke said Bondurant's departure was anticipated and will not affect the future of the news network. The new fixed route network is designed to go into effect on June 14th, 2026.
The Greater Des Moines Partnership announced last week it will focus on workforce readiness, economic growth, and housing policies during the 2026 Iowa legislative session. The regional chamber announced its legislative priorities last week during its legislative breakfast. 2025 Government Policy Council Chair Daryl Balkamp and 2026 Chair David Stark told the Business Record that the partnership will advocate for progress on property tax reform and expanding workforce programs like apprenticeships. Balkamp said although property tax legislation did not pass last session, several provisions became, quote, fairly established, which provided the place to start conversations going into 2026. Last session, the partnership saw progress on several priorities, including a new law moving forward the federal interstate designation for 2 Iowa highways and changes to the unemployment tax system. The partnership's policy agenda is created with input from members and local stakeholders and approved by the partnership's board. You can read all these stories in full and more news at businessrecord.com. Next up is our statewide headlines with the news you need to know from across Iowa.
Thanks, Sarah. The Des Moines Register reports that the Iowa Board of Regents unanimously elected Regent Robert Kramer as board president and Regent Kurt Chodden as president pro tem at its December 3rd meeting following a leadership change. Earlier last week, the Board of Regents announced that President Sherry Bates would resign as President Pro Tem. Greta Rouse would step back from her leadership role. Kramer and Chodden's leadership begins Thursday and runs through April 30th, 2026. Reynolds will select a new regent to fill Bates' seat, as well as a replacement for former regent David Barker, who left the board in May. Kramer and Chaden's terms as regents run until 2029 and 2031, respectively.
The Cedar Rapids Gazette reports that anticipated investment into a large-scale data center campus in Southwest Cedar Rapids has grown to $1.75 billion, according to recent communications between the city and data center developer QTS. The Cedar Rapids City Council last week unanimously approved an amended development agreement with QTS, outlining plans for up to 7 project phases, up from the 2 or more outlined in the original agreement. The minimum required investment remains at $750 million under the amended plan, but a city official said realized investment is expected to be closer to $1.75 billion, if not more.
Iowa Workforce Development has announced the release of Iowa labor force and jobs data will resume today with the release of September statewide data. Labor force and jobs data for local areas will be released December 16. The 43-day federal government shutdown this fall has delayed the release of the report, which relies on data collected by the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics and the U.S. Census Bureau. The Labor Statistics Bureau announced that it will not publish news released on October 2025 state or metropolitan area employment and unemployment.
The Altoona City Council has taken another step toward bringing a Wisconsin company to the metro and expanding the growing industrial area on the city's north side. The City Council last week approved the preliminary plat, final plat, and site plan for Robinson Incorporated, a custom metal manufacturer based in Des Peres, Wisconsin, which plans to expand to Iowa with the purchase of a more than 60-acre site. In September, Robinson was awarded $1.2 million from the Iowa Economic Development Authority. According to IEDA documents, the city will provide tax increment finance and tax abatement incentives for up to 15 years or up to a maximum of $25 million. The city will also invest $9 million in road and infrastructure improvements.
Construction has started on an Alliant battery energy storage system project in Franklin County. According to Alliant Energy, installation of the electrical conduits and concrete foundations is underway for a 75 megawatt system. In a news release, David Herkert, Assistant Vice President of Strategic Projects at Alliant Energy, said storing excess energy and releasing it to the grid during times of need is a critical part of the utility's long-term plan and expanded capability, maintain reliability, and keep customers' bills as low as possible. The project, located in Latimer, will be constructed on a 9-acre site south of Alliant Energy's existing substation. The system is expected to become operational in late 2026.
The Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University is proud to introduce the Emerging Leader MBA Scholarship, a full ride opportunity designed to develop Iowa's next generation of business leaders. Full ride, full potential. Learn more and apply online at ivybusiness.iastate.edu or by clicking the link in our show description.
That's our show for today, but before we go, we have a few things for you to take with you throughout the rest of your week. In Friday's edition of the Business Record, Principal Financial CEO Diehn recounts her first year in the company's top role, from unexpected moments to building the business's momentum. Lastly, one fun thing to know, visit the avenues of Ingersoll and Grand and the Roosevelt Cultural District on Saturday for the Peppermint Trail, featuring specials and local restaurants and shops, including holiday activities and trolley rides between the 2 locations. Thanks for joining us today. Each week, you can count on us for a dose of balanced news and the context you need. If you've enjoyed today's show, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday.